It all started with a very simple idea. Tell the stories of how successful middle market CEOs made it to the corner office. I'm Brant Handley, founder and managing director of Resource Options International, or ROI. We're the USA's premier executive search firm focused exclusively on empowering middle market companies to attract, hire, and retain A players while transforming top executives' careers and lives. ROI's Into the Corner office is dedicated to discovering how middle market CEOs advance their career, and we're making these remarkable and sometimes quite unbelievable stories available to you for the very first time. Listen and learn about the challenges they've overcome, the interesting people they've met along the way, and the lessons learned that steered these executives' unique journey into a middle market corner office of their own. I know you enjoy these CEO stories as much as I've enjoyed recording them. So thank you for listening today. And if you like what you've heard, rate us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. I'm looking forward to you joining me on the next great middle market CEO adventure into the corner office. Today, my guest is Susan Boresow, CEO and President of Massage Heights. Susan is proud to lead a talented group of people to drive continuous growth in their overall culture. She knows that culture is everything, and it's the cornerstone of her leadership beliefs. Massage Heights is about creating a culture of caring where the focus is on providing a personalized, elevated, and awesome experience to every member and guest. Health and wellness are part of our daily lives, and she's proud to work with her amazing franchisees and partners to grow the Massage Heights brand. Susan knows a bit about franchising. It's been her career for over 30 years in various industries. Her journey has been ever so rewarding by helping franchisees, team members, partners, and consumers achieve their goals. Prior to Massage Heights, Susan was the president of Title Boxing Club and oversaw over 180 clubs domestically and internationally. She's been an executive leader and franchising subject matter expert, steering vision casting for some of the best loved and most recognized brands, including Massage Envy, McDonald's, Sport Clips, Stone Creamery, and Godfather's Pizza. Susan Boresow, welcome into the corner office.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted to be here. Appreciate it.
Great to have you on the show. And we always kind of start in the beginning and talk a little bit about the early stages of your life. So tell us a bit about where you grew up and what your early family life was like. Brothers and sisters, mom and dad, what they do, and what part of the country are you from?
Happy to. Well, I grew up in Prairie Village, Kansas, Overland Park, Prairie Village area. Yeah. And, I grew up in a very, very large family, Brant. I am the second oldest of 14 kids.
14?
So there's
oh my gosh,
wow. 8 boys and I know. So this could take all day. 8 boys, 6 girls.
Wow.
My parents, both my same parents. And there's really from the oldest to the youngest, just 18 years difference.
Wow,
so
very close.
We're all back to back there. So really big family. Yes.
And what did Dad do?
My dad worked 3 jobs. He was a mail carrier. He worked at a grocery store. He coached teams, very hard worker his entire life. I think he finally retired at 75, 76.
Wow.
But learned a lot of my values really from my mom and dad, just that hard work ethic and the ability to help support each other and the family.
That Midwestern stock we hear so much about.
Yeah, I think so.
And mom was pretty focused on the family, I guess. Did she have a career later on, or had she been, pretty much focused on the family dynamics?
That was her career. My mom, who's still alive today, my dad no longer is, but my mom, they were married 63 years, and it was really running the ship. She never learned to drive, still doesn't, obviously, to the day, but she was the organizational leader of the family. She was highly organized, just had to keep, doctor's records, everyone going to school and homework and all that. So really a lot of great leadership and values that I inherited from my mom as well as my dad.
What were some of those key things that you remember most about how mom ran the household and how dad kind of managed it all?
What I remember most is just they worked well together as a team,
Yeah.
and they supported each other. And I think in raising, whether it's one child or 14, you have to be aligned, you have to be committed. There was a tremendous amount of sacrifice that they both had to give up in their lives to make it work. So yeah, I mean, that's what I remember most. A lot
Yeah.
of joy, a lot of happiness, but hard work and a tremendous amount of sacrifice to really run a well-oiled machine in our family.
I can
So that's
imagine.
what I remember most.
Yeah. Were you a good student in school, Susan?
Teachers really liked me, and I wasn't probably your straight A student throughout school, but I made good grades. I worked hard, but I love school, adaptable, loved learning, and I think I really had great relationships with my teachers. So that was all a fabulous experience from grade school all the way up to college and even graduate school.
What were some of the other outside activities you were involved with? Any sports or music or, student activities?
Growing up with eight brothers, I would say sports was pretty big in my family
I can
as well as
imagine.
with me. So I always played sports in high school, basketball and tennis. But really, I love like the aerobic side of working out at health
Mm,
clubs. And really, to this day, I work out and do Pilates and Orange Theory and all that. So just taking care of myself was always a priority. I was on the high school yearbook and
mm.
newspaper way back. But yeah, I love that journalism side of it and the advertising, the marketing side, I think early on.
Were there some outside jobs that you had or entrepreneurial things that you pursued in junior high, high school?
Well, when you're the oldest girl of 14, the you're a babysitter. It's
Yeah,
babysitting, and that's
right.
really where I spent a lot of my time, just helping my mom with the kids and just making sure they were getting where they were going as well. So I did help my brothers, who started a lawn company, and I'd be out there mowing and helping them if they needed the help. And today my brother has a pretty well-known lawn service and
Oh,
landscaping in Kansas City, and it's probably started way back then when we all worked together to help support the family with that. So yeah, I always rolled up my sleeves and helped them, but loved being outside, exercising, pushing the mower, getting suntan. So there were
right.
other benefits there, but yeah,
I
that's
love it.
that's really a lot of what I did. Yeah.
What was the currency between you and your brother? Did you actually get paid, or was it more of, family household chores, helping out, that type of thing? Barter trade.
We supported the family. So it was like four or five of my brothers. And yeah, I mean, it was really to help support the family. I never asked for the money. It was really the values of just how do we
Yeah.
continue to help support the family, help my dad and mom. That's really what we did. And they always took care of us. So that was it. Never thought anything else about it.
Yeah. I learned a lot about partnership, right? And partnering with each other.
I would say collaboration
Yeah. Right.
is the word that I probably learned the most back then, is how to
Yeah.
work together as a team. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's something you've taken forward into your career as well?
Yeah, I think a lot of the lessons that I learned at a young age growing up with my family and the responsibilities I had really carried me through, to be honest, today a lot of the leadership qualities and best practices that I have today with the companies that I've worked with. And I think there's some parallels there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
uh, you don't think about it when you're growing up. And I've kind of reached a point in the last several years where I've done a lot of reflection. And yeah, many of the values, many of the leadership qualities and things that I learned at a young age were formed and have carried me through my career personally and professionally
Yeah.
later on. So yeah, absolutely.
You went off to the University of Kansas. Were you the one of the first in your family to do so? Did your older brothers also go on, or mom or dad?
No, actually, my older brother was the first, and we all 14 of us, went to the University of Kansas. So we were
Wow.
all Jayhawks. And yeah, I mean, there was a lot of us there. So a lot of fun. But no,
Yeah.
we're a big Kansas family, big Jayhawks supporting Kansas family.
And you studied advertising. What led you to that field of study?
You know, I always wanted to be a teacher.
Mm.
And when I got into, right before college, I don't know, the world of advertising and the aspect of whether it's journalism, creative, and again, back then, you really don't. As I look back, I really don't even know if I recall all those details of advertising and what I really wanted to do, but it appealed to me, the creative side, the marketing side. So when I got into KU, I declared that as my major, journalism and advertising, and obviously got my degree and then went on and got a master's in marketing after that at Webster University. And then obviously my career started after that. And it's interesting as I look back, it's like what I do today, there is a lot of teaching. So I think throughout my life, I have been a teacher just with
Yeah.
work and marketing, journalism, leadership. So I never lost that part of the dream that I really wanted in my life, is to be a teacher.
Awesome. What was that first job that you took coming out of school?
Right out of, I'll say, when I received my master's, and as a young age, 24, I was hostess at a bar. I got my real estate license, and I was doing telemarketing. And then, literally in 9 months, I landed my first real opportunity, and that was with McDonald's.
Mm,
McDonald's Corporation in Overland Park, Kansas, and my whole life changed. I was like, working
yeah.
3 jobs, day and night, loved what I was doing, but I was just waiting for that right opportunity, and landed my first real job, and was with McDonald's a little over 17 years.
Yeah. What attracted you to McDonald's?
McDonald's is biggest and the best of processes and everything, and way back then, and they still are. I mean, I think they're the leader in processes. They're the leader in the industry. And there was a marketing opportunity, an opening, and an exciting one where I could oversee local store marketing in the Kansas City area with 28 of the restaurants. And, I interviewed several times, and I was just so thrilled to be able to get the position. And it honestly, it changed my life forever. I really believe that. So, McDonald's taught me a lot of skill sets, a lot of leadership qualities that I think I possess today. And I do owe it not just in family upbringing, but really to those 17 years of being with McDonald's.
Was McDonald's the first place that you started managing people?
I think I started managing people when I was the oldest girl of 14 kids.
Yeah, doing the babysitting, right?
I mean, yeah. Well, when I was 7 or 8 years old, I was managing, 5 younger. So that aside, yeah, I think managing 12 younger brothers and sisters, it was definitely a skill set. But yeah, I started really overseeing, and I oversaw 28 local store marketing individuals in the Kansas City area, and it was fabulous just developing the relationships, the strategies, the programs, and learning, just listening and learning about the McDonald's, what their jobs were, and how do we continue to grow revenue. And yeah, that's where it all started.
Thinking back to that time, do you think there are, parallels that you drew from, managing your younger brothers and sisters to what you applied on the job at McDonald's once you started managing people in a corporate setting?
Yeah, I do believe that, although my siblings will tell you I'm probably still bossy, but I don't believe I was bossy as a leader. With them, I was, but I think I think honestly, Brant, it's accountability, it's responsibility, realizing that, growing up, people depended on me. My parents depended on me. My siblings depended on me to make good decisions, to have accountability, to have a good culture and relationship with them. And I think the same held true when I started with McDonald's. I mean, or any job, any position I've had, same thing, decision making, accountability, collaboration, integrity, making sure you have a good culture, and people count on you. People look up to you. They look to you as a role model. So absolutely parallels in both, from growing up and where I'm at today.
Yeah. Did you have any mentors during those early years that helped you along? You ended up staying in the food business for quite a few years after McDonald's as well.
Yeah, I think I've been really blessed, and I've always been surrounded by great people who want to help.
Mm.
Even growing up, I had teachers that, gosh, I still connect with today, that I just think helped inspired me. My parents absolutely were part of that. And yeah, one of my mentors and coaches today, Kevin Dunn, who was my boss back in McDonald's world when I was in St. Louis for the 8 years, is still a coach and a friend of mine today. And he continued to to inspire me and to help me, coach me, and you know continue to challenge me in ways. So yeah, I still a coach today. So yeah, so many people again in the franchise world that I'm in, colleagues continue to inspire me, and I learn from everybody. I learn from people who work with me, my colleagues, the people in the franchise industry, some of our vendors, our partners. So I'm a learner at heart, and I believe that everybody's helped me in some way, which leads me to, gosh, I love helping people today and giving
Yeah,
back in
yeah.
that way too. The
I was going to ask
mentorship,
about
yeah.
that. Are you mentoring others in their career now at this stage of your career?
Yeah, I think mentorship is so important, and I realized one of my key values, core values, is really giving back today. So, the last several years I've been involved with the International Franchise Association, the IFA, and mentor individuals. Some are entrepreneurs, some are founders of organizations. I mentor colleagues within the industry. I mentor my nieces and nephews who are in college now. So it's personal mentorship and also the professional side. So, obviously take great pride in that and always helping individuals out there.
You've made a couple of pivots in your career from the food side to kind of the fitness area before you've got into the massage business, and we'll talk about that, in a minute. But tell us about that first pivot, making it from, kind of the food franchise business into the sports business. How did that come about?
It's so interesting because, after 17 years with McDonald's, then I went on to vice president of marketing with Godfather's Pizza and then Stone Creamery. So I had a lot of burgers, pizza, and ice cream in those first 20 years.
Right.
And yeah, I know. I mean, but I loved it. I mean, you gotta love the brands you're with, and I did, and I still do. And so after 20 years, I thought, gosh, can I do anything outside of food? I'm a marketing person at heart, loved it. And so I had an opportunity to become the vice president of marketing for Sport Clips, haircut for men and boys, down in the Round Rock, Georgetown, Texas area. And, at first I'm like, gosh, I've never been outside food. Can I take this risk? I mean, at that point, I didn't know. I mean, can I make that leap? And of course, you can make the leap. Anyone can make the leap. So I did, and realized that marketing is marketing, and it challenged me in a new industry. So I learned a lot about the hairstylists and, a great brand, and worked with that brand. So it really validated, your confidence. It's like, yeah, I can do something outside the industry that I've been in. So that was really the first leap. Then I went back to Arizona with the entertainment segment, Pumping Up and Bounce You, and
Yeah.
oversaw two competing brands in a way, those bounce houses. And so it was, gosh, I was like, oh, this is a new industry, and loved it. Loved working with the team, and growing the revenue and building the brand. And it was a fun brand. And then right in my backyard was the headquarters of Massage Envy, and I was
Mm.
recruited and had an opportunity to be the chief marketing officer. And I was like really loving where I was at, and it's like, but taking a risk. Do I take this risk? And so yeah, I took the risk and loved it. Was with Massage Envy for 5 years, and with the great team that was there, the executive team built it to be $1 billion brand, and just absolutely loved it. But part of it is I resonate with the brands that I've been with. So whether it's food, I love the food. I love the entertainment, Sport Clips, all the brands I've been with. And I always have loved health and wellness
Right.
personally. And
Right.
so, believe in taking care of yourself, and believe in massage therapy. I was getting massages before I started with Massage Envy and facial. So when you believe in the brands and have passion for it, it just makes it that much more fun. So
Yeah.
obviously I was with Massage Envy for those 5 years. And, again, after that, my journey took me to another platform. So that's how that went. Yeah.
Was franchising a common denominator among all those companies in transitioning out of food into, hairstyling and then into the bounce house and Massage Envy?
Franchising, that's all I've been in for 35 plus years. So
Yeah.
McDonald's, every brand I've been in my entire career is and has been in franchising. And, I realized how much I really loved it. It's like a family itself, the franchise industry. And, I've learned so much from my colleagues and mentors in the franchise space. And what I love most is just really helping franchisees fulfill their dreams. I mean,
Mm.
they invest in a brand, whether it's McDonald's or Massage Envy or Massage Heights, and they look to the franchisor to help lead and cast the vision and help them drive their revenue to be profitable. So I always love doing that. So the relationships that I've built in the last 35 years have been invaluable. So it has been in franchising every step of the way.
What do you think makes franchising such an interesting industry, and what have you liked most about it?
What I like most about it is just helping franchisees fulfill their dreams and their goals. And, they get into a business for many reasons. They get in because they have passion for it. They get in to make a living, make money, and, help their communities and help their people. So being part of that is also very rewarding. So I really love that part of it. And I think, franchising itself it's such an amazing industry, and becoming your own owner of your business appeals to so many people out there, whether they decide to leave corporate America or have had a dream of becoming an owner, are just opportunities. Many of our franchisees that we get are people who were members. So when you think about it, if you're a member of Massage Heights and you love it and you go back and you believe in it, some of our franchisees were members at heart and started there. So everyone has a different journey that they take, but I believe franchising is very special. And again, the industry continues to grow.
So probably one of the attraction things is you're working with a lot of small and medium-sized businesses, and that's their life, right? So they're very motivated and they want to be successful, and I imagine very hungry for what you could share with them on how to make their business successful.
Absolutely. People who join a franchise expect that, the guides are there, the training tools, the
Yeah.
marketing basics are there. They just have to execute. And so the staff that you have on the franchisor side, you have the skill set and the leadership skill set to really help and direct the franchisees so that there is consistency out there and really executing them and coaching them. So, and you got to have leadership who can cast the vision and the mission, and really a strategic plan to keep everybody focused. So, and so that's why when you get into and join a franchise, you don't want to recreate everything. The expectation is many of those tools and resources exist already.
Right, right. Cool. Well, listen, before we talk about Massage Heights, and I want to hear all about that, I have to ask about Title Boxing Club. Tell us a little bit about what attracted you to that company, and were you a boxer before you joined?
The transition that I made from Massage Envy, being in marketing, and then the next step of becoming president was like just a life lesson, a life learning. So after Massage Envy, I was at an IFA, International Franchise Association, a conference, and on a Sunday, there was a panel of CEOs, and one of the speakers was a gentleman named John Rocci, who I'd heard of. He'd been in the franchise space for a long time. He was a ex Domino's executive and Krispy Kreme, and also Entrepreneur of the Year with the IFA. And he was the president of Title Boxing Club. And
Hmm.
I was thinking long and hard after 30 years. I was living in Scottsdale, and I thought, at some point I do want to get back to Kansas City with my family, my parents who are aging, and I loved what he was saying. And I've always been, as you know, loved the sports, loved the competition. And I actually did Title Boxing Club because they were headquartered in Overland Park, where my family's at. So I sent John a LinkedIn and said, hey, you don't know me, I've got a marketing career of 30 some years, and I'm thinking about moving back to Overland Park, and great job on the panel. And if you're ever looking for a marketing person with Title Boxing Club, give me a call.
All
Well, I
right.
honestly I didn't think I'd ever hear from him. It's one of those LinkedIn messages, but yeah, very quickly, John got back to me, and timing is everything. And, he was living in Ann Arbor, and, our dialogues progressed, and we met, and, he had a vision for other things in his career path, and he really wanted somebody to run the Title Boxing Club organization. And then it was like 140 units and in 2015. And he said, again, I wasn't looking for a marketing person. I'm really looking for somebody with leadership qualities and somebody that could really run the organization. So would consider you, and would you like to be president of Title Boxing Club? And
Wow.
I know, and it's like, right there, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like another level of my life that just went to new heights, and I was so thrilled, and it taught me so much. It's like I never thought I'd even be a president, because I had such a great career in marketing. And it really, my lesson there is like, don't have blinders on yourself. Somebody saw
Right.
something in me, so I accepted the position at Title Boxing Club. And we grew it to a little over about 185 clubs in the 6 years I was there. And then it was sold in January of 2021. And gosh, I loved it. I wasn't a boxer, but I got to be really good at boxing.
I can
but
imagine.
yeah, it's interesting. It's 70% members are female. And I
Wow.
love creating the team. It's all about culture and the positioning, the marketing, the ops, and I learned a lot about the other departments in this leadership role too. And we went international, which was obviously a new experience for me. So yeah, it was so much fun, and again, it was all about having just a great culture and a team.
What led you back to the massage business with Massage Heights?
I always had my eye on Massage Heights, even
Mm.
when I was at Envy, because they're a key competitor. And the experience at Massage Heights it was just an elevated experience. And, there's just different enhancements in the, in the retreats, which we call them, that make it special for the members. And so when we sold in January of 2021, Title Boxing Club, I was doing some consulting with a few other brands, and actually re-engaged with Shane Evans, who I had known, who's a co-founder of Massage Heights. And, in that Q1 of 2021, she was looking to truly do some other things, step aside. And after 17 years as being just about every position in it, she was really looking for somebody she trusted and some new leadership. And we had met prior, and timing just wasn't right for me. And the timing was right in 2021. So I absolutely love, love, love the brand, love the opportunity to be the CEO and president and develop an amazing team, a strategic platform, and really grow the brand. And so, yeah, in May of 2021, I did officially take the position. And
Awesome.
then here I am today. So,
And you're a franchise operation as well. Tell us, how big is the operation today? How many different units, and what's your growth strategy?
we have about 120 retreats. We have 10 in Canada, the rest in the US. And it's all about making sure you find the right franchisee to run the location, and
Yeah.
somebody that has the passion, the skill set, the salesmanship, the people side of it too, somebody wanting to be part of the community. So it's first strategy is always finding the right franchisee. It's the toughest decision I think any CEO in franchising has, is making sure whoever you bring into your brand reflects the values and adopts your processes and strategies that you have. So
Yeah.
that's primarily it. There's a lot of opportunity within the U.S., and we have a fabulous vice president of development, Kim Robinson. She's on board, and she's working leads, and she's got the strategies organically, working with brokers as well, because we want to continue to provide therapeutic services to all those people that need it and want it out there. And, obviously having somebody at the helm as the franchisee to run the operation is obviously what we look for as well, and what our strategy is.
How is the operation differentiated from Massage Envy? You speak of retreats. When I think of Massage Envy, I think of more of a retail, location. Do you actually have a different product offering, different service offering?
We do facials, we do massages, we have elevations. So, like in a massage, you can enhance it with cupping and CBD oil and other things. Same with facials.
Right.
So we also have a retail line. So we partner with Dermalogica with our facials. And then during the holidays, there's always so many seasonal gifts with candles and travel packs and stocking stuffers and everything that we sell during Mother's Day, Valentine's Day. So there is a retail side for the revenue during our gift card time, and really throughout the year. So facials and massages are our core. And I can't speak to what Envy does today, but back then it was pretty parallel in the
Yeah.
services that were offered.
Yeah. Got it. How has your leadership style, evolved as you've moved from, those senior marketing level positions through CMO to now kind of being in that corner office as CEO and president in your last couple of roles?
I think my leadership has evolved with a lot more listening. And I
Mm,
think that's important. I think leaders, and my philosophy has always been listen, learn, and lead. And, I look back then and I probably didn't listen as much as I would have liked, but today it's about listening. It's about the team. It's about recognition for the team. It's
yeah.
about growing and developing the team. It's about being flexible with what's happened today with, the post COVID, and how people's lifestyles and the importance of family and the importance of having that balance is just top priority. So my lifestyle as well mirrors that, and my leadership does as well. And a lot more listening, a lot more flexibility, a lot more collaboration. That is my style anyway. I've
Yeah.
always been a big collaborator, believe in getting buy-in from the team, believe in unification. And I think, leadership comes from my whole journey of listening better, learning a lot, and then help leading a team by growing them more so than ever.
In your bio, you talk a lot about culture and how important that is. How would you describe Massage Heights culture? And more importantly, how do you kind of propagate that? How do you make sure that the people that you've inherited and also the people that you bring in really understand what your company culture is all about?
I really believe that culture is everything. And it's a word that 20 years ago I think we said it, but I think today we have to live it and breathe
Mm,
it. And it is everything today. I think the values play a core role in developing a culture, and the people we bring in, we want to make sure that their values mirror our values. I think that's first and foremost, and having that is important. I believe that culture evolves. I believe that the diversity plays a big role in the culture, and trust. So we look for these qualities in our people and our team, and we listen to the team, which is how our culture evolves. And our franchisees have to develop their own culture
yeah.
within their retreats. So there's onboarding, there's recognition, there's many things that we've done. For example, when I started in May of 2021, we did a survey with our franchisees on how we can improve, but we also did one with our team at the time. And they told me in anonymous surveying, hey, we need more benefits, and we want our hybrid, days. And we had remote individuals, and we still do today, and those that live in San Antonio. So how do we make their lifestyle and work balance work for them with their
Yeah.
situation. So did all that. We pulled the team together and we had an action plan. And yeah, we put a new 401k plan in. We have a monthly wellness allowance. We actually moved our office to the 9th floor in this beautiful brand new office, a lot more conducive to, it's more modern, it's collaborative, and everything's new. And so it's a really big morale booster for the team. So I think it's listening to the team and listening to your franchisees. So part of that is not just going out there and meeting with them, but sometimes it's surveys. And then we did a combination of both just to make sure that we got as much feedback as possible.
Yeah. Recruiting against company's culture is one of the most important things as executive recruiters that we do. How do you go about assuring that you have alignment of new employees, let alone new franchisees, to your culture? Are there special questions that you ask, or do you have a process that helps you, kind of really understand if you're bringing in the right people and the right partners?
Well, for our team, I have fabulous leaders on our team, and they hire their individuals when I'm looking to hire individuals that report directly to me. I mean, I get input from the leaders. I get input from the team, whether they work for or with or whatever the reporting structure is. We get input during the interview process, and we try and just get to know people. I believe that Zoom is, it is a positive in some ways, but I won't hire anybody that unless I meet with them. I want to spend time with them. I want to have lunch with them. I want to take them out to the retreats. I want to get to know them. I mean, this is the most important decision you make is not just what franchisee you bring on your team, but what team members you bring on. So you want to make sure there's a good fit and that you like each other and you learn more about them personally. How many kids do they have? What their favorite food is. We ask some really bizarre questions. If you're on an island alone, and you can only eat one food, what do you have? And you get to know people in a certain way. And so we have a lot of fun that way. And I think it's changed. The interview process has to change. You want to get people who join your team that are going to have a lot of fun and have a lot of mutual respect and align with your values as well.
Do you have a favorite interview question, Susan, that you found to be fairly effective over time in your various jobs?
It just depends on the group and the people, but I always ask what their personal values are because I want to know what's really important to them. But there's a lot of fun questions that we always ask, like, what's your favorite dessert and, all those crazy ones, but that's because you just get to know people. But I think the most important one is just what are your core values and why? Why are these important to you?
Yeah. And that's a great way to get at that alignment. Well, Susan, we're just about out of time, but we do have one last question we ask all our CEO guests, and that's, what kind of career and life advice would you give someone that maybe has their eyes set on their own corner office someday?
That's a great question, Brant. And I would say that anyone who has their eyes on a corner office, what I would recommend is just don't deviate on your values. No matter what, if you've been in the business 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and your values can evolve, they can change, but always stay true to your values. Build really good relationships, have a lot of respect out there, and trust others and trust yourself, more importantly.
I love that. Well, Susan Boresow, CEO and President of Massage Heights, thank you so much for sharing your journey into the corner office.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to Into the Corner Office with Brant Hanley. We hope you enjoyed hearing our guest CEO story as much as we did. If you want to hear more CEOs reveal their journey into the corner office, please subscribe via iTunes and tell your friends and colleagues. For more information about Brant, Resource Options International, and the mighty middle market, visit www.goforroi.com. We look forward to having you join us for our next episode.